G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tuckawa Marks Point, with the last Friday fishing report for 2022. Beautiful weather again, and it looks like we're just going to be saved. Probably about 4 or 5 days of easterlies, but looking really nice, and some pleasant temperatures, which is great to see. Out wide, that water temperature has started to increase. Just before Christmas there, we had temperatures up as high as 23.5 degrees just for a day or two. It's cooled off just a tad, around 22. Plenty of marlin around, striped marlin around, pretty good numbers. Most guys encountering several when they're out there. I know a couple of the boys, the Norris boys, are out there just right on top of Christmas. 7 or so shots for the day, tagged one. A couple of the boys have been out since then. Troy Payton was a good example of that there. Never caught a marlin before. Was out there very early, before 6 in the morning. Seen a fish free jump, trolled over to it and hooked it up straight away. Great effort, Troy. 2.5 hour fight on that fish by himself. And this is what you're seeing coastally between here and right the way up through to Coffs Harbour, Southwest Rocks, Port Macquarie. Lots of black marlin up there as well. So the offshore situation out wide is looking magnificent with that great blue water and very good temperatures. Not a lot of dolphin fish out there just yet, but it'll improve. So guys, if you're not sure and you've never done marlin fishing before and you want a few tips, come in and see us, Alex and myself and the boys. We can steer you on and give you a few ideas of how to get out there exactly like Troy did. Fantastic effort. Back on the fad, still no dolphin fish. Some small kingies, but no dolphin fish. So you're just going to have to be persistent and wait for that water temp to pick up. And I reckon probably a few weeks away. You've got half a moon at the moment. So we're going to go back into that next phase. And of course, tides this weekend. Low tide at 10 o'clock, but it's not a bad low tide. It's 0.74 of a metre. And of course tomorrow, that high tide at 4 p.m, only 1.4 metres. So there's going to be not a lot of shift in this current this weekend. So that's ideal fishing, and certainly convenient on those bar crossings where you won't get that giant drain of water. Plenty of fish around on the beaches. I've got to say, some really nice whiting getting caught. The last few weeks just started to build up, and then after the back of that prawn run that finished around about Boxing Day, it really went to the next level. And a lot of guys going up there catching 10 or 12 or 15, some cracking fish. Tube worms in particular have worked very well. Preserved beach worms, of course, a good backstop, but some beautiful fish. There's been brim, dart, and of course a few school mulloway in and around about that 80 to 85 centimetres. Now, couple of salmon still around. I got a few reports of that yesterday, a few big salmon, and still late in the afternoon been a couple of tailor schools, only isolated. Certainly down near the surf club and the breakwater there's been a couple, but you just got to move around and see what's actually going on. So the beaches are fishing very well. Haven't had a lot of reports off the rocks, guys. So look, I think you just got to, if you're going to go down the rocks, brim, trevally, those sorts of fish is what you're going to tangle into. Maybe a few kingfish off the rocks, because there are a few kingfish in the channel. There's no doubt there's been a bit of action down at the bridge. But for those guys that have been down rigging out in the lake, either if they can get squid, and squid have been a little bit scarce, but even ducking out the heads and getting a few live yellowtail, there are some nice kingies in the lake. And that down rigging just takes the edge of it, gets away from that traffic, getting that bait down lower, probably suspending it on the down rig around about 5 to 6 metres. Is going to be that's the pick for my mind. The bycatch to doing that is of course mulloway, and there's quite a few mullow around. Crabs, well, they've been up and down, and there's a lot of jennies around at the moment, so you need to be aware there's a lot of blue swimmer crabs out there laden with eggs, so they must be released, as we all know. But you've just got to move around. I know there's a lot of crab pots, I can understand that, but you've just got to be patient to move around. On the flats, plenty of whiting. Spoke to a few guys, spoke to Dave Nurse yesterday. He and his uncle have been catching some beautiful fish. So plenty of whiting around, some really good sized ones. Again, I just think tube worms are perfect, just the perfect bait. Light hooks, little number 6s, number 8s, and make sure you fish for fluorocarbon around about 5 to 6 pound, no heavier, and nice long leads of about 1 metre. Some brim mixed in with them, and of course flathead. And the funniest thing you'll hear is, of course, a few of the guys coming in with these new flathead limits of nothing over 70, they're having trouble catching fish under 70. What a magnificent problem to have. Going out on the lake, catching fish 70 centimetres up to 1 metre, got to release them granted, but what a great effort to get out there and catch that type of fish. Fantastic for the kids, all the grandkids and the family, get out there and experience some of these very big flathead that the lake is now holding. all in all, guys, I think you just got to get out there and have a bit of a look. The whiting have been a bit touchy on the flats with surface lures, but definitely splash prawns and sugar pens, and of course the little turbo shrimp from Gulp. They'll work well just as you wait around. And I think with these smallish tides, I reckon that surface action will start to increase as we move into that next prawn run. Getting a few asks about that now. I reckon it's going to be in and around about the 18th of January. Anyway, guys, have a safe new year. When you're in boating, just make sure your safety gear's there, and do me a favour, start the boat up before you get to the ramp and make sure the steering is in seized, because if you guys have had that particular problem, I'll see you next week when it will be 2023. Stay safe, see you then.